All right, the 49ers have wrapped up their final practice ahead of week 2 against the Rams, and they're going to be flying out to LAX tomorrow. Walk through tomorrow, flight tomorrow. The only 49ers injury news today to report is that Samuel Womack, second-year defensive back, is going to be headed to injured reserve. He hurt his MCL at practice on Wednesday. That is a knee injury. The good news is Womack will not require surgery, and the 49ers expect him back. They're going to use one of their return from IR designations on him in 6 to 8 weeks. So for the time being, the 49ers say they already have a corresponding roster move in mind, but Kyle Shanahan would not yet announce it. I would expect maybe Quantrez Knight to be flexed up from the practice squad. The 49ers also have Trey Swilling, a cornerback, on the practice squad, and Shamar Jean-Charles, a cornerback, on the practice squad. They could also make 2 moves. One, obviously, would be a full-time promotion to the 53-man roster because you have to fill Womack's spot. But they can also use one of their 2 practice squad elevations for the week on the cornerback spot. For example, if it's Quantrez Knight that gets the full-time 53-man nod, he can play outside corner, but most of his experience is on the inside and at safety. So if Quantrez Knight comes up for special teams purposes, and because he's the most deserving of the 53-man spot, you can also temporarily elevate either Jean-Charles or Trey Swilling. So we'll see what the 49ers roster move in that regard is. On the Rams side, Puka Nacua, the receiver who had 10 catches for 119 yards, rookie out of BYU. Puka is probably going to play. I think he's officially listed as questionable with the oblique injury, but the Rams do expect him to play. Nacua went to BYU, which is Fred Warner's alma mater. Fred said that he actually talked to Nacua last year when BYU came through the Bay Area to play Stanford. Warner went to the team hotel the night before to talk to some of the former staff that he played for there at BYU. And he got a nice conversation with Puka Nacua, and we might see an occasional matchup between Fred Warner and Nacua, who Kyle Shanahan has compared to Jawan Jennings. Fred also compared him to a big, tough receiver, 6'2", good fundamentals. The Jennings comparisons don't just end with that. Nacua also didn't run the fastest 40, which caused Jennings' stock to drop down to the 7th round. Nacua was picked in the 5th round by the Rams. There's a jet overhead. One of those jets is going to be taking the 49ers down to LA shortly. Other injury report, which I think sealed yesterday, but if you want the update, Dre Greenlaw again at practice, and he was completely off of the 49ers injury report, not mentioned at all. So Samuel Womack heading to IR, everybody else locked, loaded, ready to go for the 49ers.